today I felt like building Freddy Fazbear, so I have some servos right here. They're mini split servos and a Arduino Nano. Now I specifically chose this because of its small form factor, as you see here. It's going to be easily to put in a base or something, so this is perfect for this project. My goal is to make it around like 20 centimeters. I feel like that would be a decent size and it would match up with our reference picture right here. Don't ask why that happened, it doesn't matter. So anyways, the first part is actually to solder this Arduino Nano, because as you see here, it doesn't come pre-soldered. So let me quickly go do that and I'll be back. Alright, I have some good and bad news. The good news is I soldered everything. You can check my solder job right there. The bad news is I accidentally like touched this resistor and it actually came off. I tried to put it back on as best as possible, so hopefully I didn't fry this Arduino and hopefully it still works. I have multiple, so there's nothing really to lose. And if you're wondering why I actually soldered it facing upwards, it's for the case. That's why. It will fit easily in the case like this, and the port's right there, so it's perfect. Alright, so here's my laptop right here. Let me turn the brightness up. Alright, this looks a little bit better. But essentially, as you see here, we have software right here, and we'll just plug it up here. So we'll go ahead and plug in the Arduino, and it looks like I didn't fry it, so that's good, because I'm pretty sure this resistor is for power, so I think it should work. I don't know, it's working right now. But let's go ahead and hook up a servo to this. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, it's gonna be actually using this guy's repository. He actually made like basically all the hard part. He made a tool that converts Blender animations into servo positions, and it will essentially make this project actually doable, because I don't know how to use servos that well, so this will be way easier animating them and make them look like an actual animatronic. Yeah, so if we go to his repository right here, we can actually upload the code to the Arduino Nano, but we don't want to do that yet. Let's first actually hook up our servo, and for this I actually have a breadboard that we're going to use here, and let's just go ahead and hook this up. Grab some wires here, and this looks really scuffed right now. Trust me, once I actually solder everything together, it'll look a lot nicer. But now we're actually ready to upload the code to the Arduino. So let's go ahead and upload the code here. Upload. And there we go. As you see, the servo is moving. It's kind of, you can hear it, but it's kind of hard to see. Okay, now that we have this, that's basically the hard part done. So now we have to design a whole like endoskeleton. We have to find a way to put this inside the Freddy skull. Let me go ahead and 3D model it. Alright, so I went ahead and 3D printed the Freddy head, and it's right here. And actually, once I took off all the supports and actually looked at it a little bit closer, I kind of like barely measured it with the ruler, and that kind of bit me in the butt, because as you see here, I don't think that's going to be enough room here for what we're trying to achieve here. So we're going to have to reprint this. And while we're at it, I'm actually going to design the jaw as well, because that's also what we need. So I'll be back when I actually print everything. Alright, so I just took off the supports, and here is the Freddy skull. So here's the new one compared to the old one. As you see, it's a little bit bigger, just a tiny bit bigger. But that extra space will actually allow the servo to sit nice in there. And then I went ahead and actually attached the new like endoskeleton. I don't know what to call this. And it looks pretty nice. And if I actually put it in the Freddy head right here, see that it's nice and flush. So unfortunately, this jaw, as you see it here, this hole is supposed to like fit like snugly in here, but as you see, it just moves around so much and it doesn't even work that well. So yeah, I actually found this specific bracket online and I just attached it to the FNAF jaw, and as you see, not testing it out kind of affected me, but I think we should be good if I just screw it in. So let me go find a screw. Alright, so the servos come with these, and I can actually use one of these screws to attach the jaw. Alright, so as I'm screwing this in, I'm gonna want like a pretty tight like screw, and that's pretty good there. Alright, I guess it ended up working out. So inside the Freddy skull, it's gonna look like this, which is actually perfect. Exactly what we wanted. Alright, so I forgot to mention this, but the Arduino actually has memory on board. So once you upload the code, the really cool thing is it will just work. So if I plug this into power, it'll just turn on. All right, so let's plug it into the laptop, and as you see, oh, I forgot to connect it. Whoops. Okay, there you go. And as you see, it actually just got loose again. We might have to reprint this jaw piece, but it'll work for now. And as you see there, that's some pretty good movement there. So I think the next step of the operation is to actually animate something a lot better than this movement, because that might actually not work with this. So let me quickly go animate something in a Blender and we'll be back. All right, so I went ahead and uploaded the animation, and it looks like we're gonna need to make a slight adjustment here. So let me quickly move this jaw up a bit, like right there. A little bit lower. All right, let's see if this works, and that doesn't look too bad. That looks pretty good. All right, so I went ahead and added some of this tissue paper here to hopefully hold this like more tension on here, and that looks pretty good. You can't even lie, that looks pretty good right there. The mouth's moving and everything. So for this goal, I want like the whole body to move along with the mouth. So we're gonna have 2 servos in here. So this is the first one, and I think that actually works pretty well. Here's a close-up of it. And of course I'm gonna paint everything so it looks all nice, but damn, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, it's the next day. It took a little bit to print, but here is the Freddy body. So fun fact about this was actually supposed to be filled, and the 3D printer just didn't put anything here or here. And yeah, that's a little bit weird. I don't know why I did that, but I guess it looks more game accurate, but the structure might be a little bit worse. Also, I put these brackets here, so that's gonna hold one of these servos in place. I just need to tuck the wire in there, and then there's some screw holes there, so we'll screw that in. I also printed this, which is an attachment for the neck joint. So this is gonna attach right here on this servo screw hole. If you see here, I accidentally made this hole a little bit too small, as you see here. So I think what I'm gonna do is just force it in with a hammer, and hopefully that works. I think it's bending the screw. Okay. It's about as far as it goes. As you see, it's sticking out a little bit. It's actually a little bit sturdy, you see. So I think this might work. All right, let's try to attach it to the body, and it fits nice, and oh, it's good rotation. It actually worked pretty well. And the 3D printer messing up was actually beneficial, because I can actually wrap this wire through the body and it'll come out through the bottom, which is where I want it. Anyways, let's attach the Freddy head or mask, and boom. So this is the first prototype, and it's got swivel here. The jaw opens up and down. This is working really well. Let me go ahead and plug this in. Boom, we have an animatronic Freddy. Look at that. And then if we wanted to, we could bend this a little bit forward to be more game accurate. Let's compare it to the reference. Yep, looks pretty close. All right, so now that we know that works, let's attach the second servo, which I have right here. So we just have to route this under. There you go. Pull this through. And this is a little bit of a tight fit, but hopefully we can, there you go, squeeze it through. And then we have 2 screws to screw this into. And thankfully the servos come with 3 screws, and 2 of them are the long screws, which is what we need. All right, so when this was printing, it actually printed like that. So that might have affected the hole. All right, so I'm gonna have to drill this. All right, I'm back, and I realized my mic wasn't recording, so I turned that on. And as you see here, I was actually able to drill 2 holes here. So let's see if that works. All right, both those screws are nicely sitting there. Yeah, that servo's going nowhere. So that will be perfect for the hip rotation. So now let's attach the endo again. And you might as well wire this through too. There we go. And the neck is connected. So yeah, with that wire coming out, it makes it look a little bit weird, but that's the best we can do. Well, I think this is a good place to leave off. If you guys want part 2, like this video. If you guys want to support me, I have some Amazon affiliate links for some servos and some Arduino Nanos, the exact things I used for this project. Anyways, thanks for watching.